What is up, everybody? Steve here. Today I'm going to talk about an article, a very quick article from the Housing Wire, and it's pertaining to home purchase sentiment has hit its lowest level in over a decade. People are feeling the crunch. They're feeling the high prices of freaking everything right now. And, if this continues, it's just going to get worse and worse for the housing market. But let's dive into this article real quick and we'll talk a little bit more about it. Fannie Mae's home purchase sentiment index fell 2 points in July to 62.8, its lowest reading since 2011. Overall, just 17% of respondents said it was a good time to buy a home in July. Now, this 17%, I don't know where they come from, but I do not think it's a good time to buy right now. And anyway, it's showing down from 20% a month prior, and 76% said it was a bad time to buy. I think most of the viewers on this channel are thinking exactly the same thing. It's not a good time to buy. And I think probably the number one question, I'm going to do a video on this, is when is a good time to buy? And I think I'm going to address that in another video for you guys, because that is the number one question that I get from instant message and emails and comments on this channel. So we'll talk more in detail on that. Now, on the seller side of things, 67% said it was a good time to sell, down from a peak of 76% in May. So 67% of sellers are saying it is a good time to sell. And right now, if you guys are on the fence, I believe the housing market nationwide is going to continue to go on a decline because the demand is just not there. Housing affordability is not there, and wages are not keeping up to afford these overpriced homes. So I believe it's inevitable that we're going to see the real estate market go on a decline, maybe even a deep decline. And it's interesting to see that, sellers are actually saying, based on these stats, it went from 76% to 67%, saying it's a good time to sell. And I know from my own personal experience, knowing other sellers, and they're saying, you know what, we missed the mark. Or, you know what, if I listed X months ago, I would have gotten X dollars more for my home. So I believe that sellers know it's a good time to sell. It's still the top of the market. And certain sellers are just saying, you know what, I think I missed the top, but it's never too late to go ahead and cash out on our equity position right now. So if you guys are on the fence and you have a good equity position and you have the ability to sell it and move somewhere else, or you want to free up capital from an investment property and then invest in another year or two, it could be prime time. 39% of response said that home prices will go up within the next year. 39% compared to 44% a month prior. So obviously people are starting to change their opinion that home prices are going to continue to go up, while 30% believe that prices will go down, which is up from 27%. So more and more people are thinking that prices will start to go down. And you know what, I will put this in the description for you guys as well, but you know what I find interesting is, and I'm going to do another video on this in terms of people who have never experienced a recession. And the recession that we had with the pandemic, we didn't feel that. There was so much money pumped into the system, and people were getting, stimulus checks. They're getting PPP money. They're getting a ton of money, and their bank accounts were fulfilled. So they had no problems. They were enjoying life. They're sitting home, not necessarily working. They're getting paid by the government for not working. And a lot of people didn't feel that recession. But my point is I think that there's a lot of people that have never experienced down times. And even myself, before the last recession, basically the great financial crisis, leading up to that, I was naive. I didn't, as a kid, I've gone through recessions and everything else, but I didn't necessarily feel it. It was more on my parents that felt it. It wasn't necessarily me. I mean, I do remember a lot of the things, like, you know, my father being very frugal and saying, you know, get out of the shower, you know, a 2-minute shower, or turn your lights off and when you leave a room and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, we don't really feel it as much when you're younger. And leading up to the last real estate crash, I was still naive in that sense as well. And then when it hit, I was like, damn. And it affected so many people. And my point is I think that there's still this belief with a lot of people that they don't think that bad times will ever affect them, or they're around the corner. And I think that a lot of people just don't see that, and they haven't experienced it, so they're not keeping that in as part of their processing of the economy as a whole. Anyway, I appreciate you guys being with me, and I'll see you guys on the next video.